Okay.
All right.
Okay. Oh my God.
All right.
I had...
Well, Liz did this great accent that nobody heard.
Welcome to a typical episode of The Hangover
At
with
least
Cosmos.
lately.
With Cosmos, where something inevitably goes wrong. Man, I was having so much fun. Anyway, so in the main episode, we discussed, of course, the night sky for January 2025, highlighting Centaurus, large constellation in the southern hemisphere sky. And then we did a little recap of some fun astronomy news that happened in 2024. And yeah, that's what we did. That's what we did in the main show. And then we came here, and here we are in The Hangover, where everything instantly... It was like the accent just came from within, and I wouldn't even know how to recreate it.
Yeah, I don't think she knew she was doing it at first.
Oh gosh, it was glorious. I can't remember what I said. I can't remember what I was talking
Well,
about.
you did the whole, the spiel about what we did in the previous.
Yes, it was very philosophical. Anyway, moving on. So, what I was thinking when I was thinking about the show and doing the recap of 2024, I realized that we haven't actually had a Mars update for a while, and there's some recent Mars news in terms of the exploration and science going on up there that I was like, oh, well, this will fit in nicely because it's current, and also, we need to check in on our little robot pals that are living by themselves on a faraway planet, beep-booping away, while we just beep-beep commands at them. They're just toiling, working hard in a very harsh terrain and unhospitable to humans environment, doing our dirty work. Doing our dirty science. No, they're doing some great work, and they've lasted a lot longer than we thought they would, because engineers lie. They know exactly how long they're gonna last. No. So I was like, you know what? Let's check them out. So the first highlight of Mars is Perseverance.
Hey.
Remember plucky Perseverance?
Was that my drink?
Yes, it was your drink. It's your second drink, We want to know, well, hey, where is Perseverance persevering? It landed in a crater. It's looking around to see, hey, life, you here? Well, anybody home? No. To see what Mars was like, in the past. And so recently, Perseverance is preparing. It's been on the move. It's crested the top of Jezero Crater's rim.
It did it.
It did. It was the little rover that could. It had to battle all this crazy terrain. They tried going backwards at one point, and to kind of get it, up the hill, it was just, its wheels looked like they'd been through hell and back. Yeah. I mean, its whole goal was to get up to the top of this crater, because at the bottom of the crater, you have more recent materials, but at the top of the crater, you have the stuff that came out from deep within Mars when that impact happened. So you have the older materials on Mars. So you can really start to analyze that material and put a more scientifically accurate picture of Mars's evolution through history together.
Do you think Perseverance gets a vacation now?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it gets time off, because when, I don't know, because they program the commands in to happen, so they don't have to, nobody's steering, nobody's going.
Oh, no, Perseverance is going to do it itself.
They can just be like, here's all the commands for
I would love, wouldn't it be so cool to put on your resume, you're like a rover driver?
Oh my God, that'd be so cool. They'd be like, what, BattleBots? No. On Mars. So it took 3.5 months. It ascended basically a little over 1,600 vertical feet. And the Stephen Lee, the deputy project manager for Perseverance at NASA's JPL lab in Southern California, said, during the Jezero crater rim climb, our rover drivers had done an amazing job negotiating some of the toughest terrain we've encountered since a landing.
I was so put rover driver on.
Oh, totally. It landed in February of 2021.
Mm-hmm. We had a party.
It's completed 4 science campaigns, and so this is going to be the 5th science campaign. The 4 are the first one is the crater. It's like a movie. It's like in a book, like chapters or parts of it. So it's like part 1, the crater floor. Part 2, fan front. Part 3, upper fan. And part 4, so far in the Perseverance saga, margin unit.
Oh God!
Part 5, to be released 2025, the Northern Rim. So basically on the rim of this crater, it's going to go to 4 sites of geologic interest, take several samples, and drive a total of about 4 miles.
Okay.
So it'll be there for a bit because it goes real slow. Science is slow. Science be wild, science be slow. So that's exciting.
Sometimes it's fast.
It climbed the mountain.
Okay.
It did it. Let's see. Ken Farley, the project scientist for Perseverance at Caltech, said the Northern Rim campaign brings us completely new scientific riches as Perseverance roves into fundamentally new geology. So again, these are like the oldest rocks on Mars, stuff that has not been studied before because they haven't been able to. Haven't had access to them before. So this is the first time that a rover is basically at kind of the top of this crater to do this. But Perseverance isn't. I mean, technically it's alone where it's at, but it's not the only robot we have living on Mars.
There's more.
Yeah. Are you curious about Curiosity? Curiosity rover.
Let's take this opportunity to talk about it.
It's still trekking. It's still trekking.
Okay.
It's still going strong. It's still sciencing up there. And it's currently preparing for the next leg of its journey. It's gonna take a month to go to a formation called the Boxwork, which is a series of these web-like patterns on Mars that was caused basically from the evaporation of water.
Okay.
You have minerals that basically settled into the fractures in the rock and then hardened.
Oh, okay.
And then the rest of the water, evaporated. So is that like fossilized water? Basically? Kind of, in a way.
Kind of, yeah, at least, yeah.
It's the pattern, I guess, that's fossilized, maybe?
Yeah, because, fossils really are just minerals that have replaced certain parts of... And,
that's true.
like all the soft tissue kind of goes away.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But we've seen this.
That's what we're going to call it.
Okay. Water fossils. We've seen this formation on Earth in like cliffsides and caves and stuff. But these are covering large areas of Mars' surface, indicating that it occurred.
So understand this shit on different planets here on Earth.
Yeah. Comparative planetology, which is one of my favorite actual scientific phrases. So it is currently, it's in the Geddes Vallis channel, and it's about to leave that area to go to this boxwork formation. But in the channel that it's currently in, it found these like really mysterious sulfur stones. The Mars, I don't know if it's MRO or Odyssey, I can't remember, had actually observed the area, and it just looked like this like lighter patch. It couldn't actually resolve that they were stones. So once Curiosity actually got over there, they saw all these individual like white stones that are like littering the surface, and then Curiosity drove over one, and it just like crushed into this yellow crystals inside. And so they analyzed it, and it was pure sulfur.
Wow. Okay.
And so now they go, well, why the fuck is all this sulfur here? They don't know. This is a new, I mean, it's Mars. So they found this, and now they're trying to figure out, well, what the fuck went on here? What had caused had caused this to happen and everything. So it's very interesting. An area that Curiosity basically happened upon. Or, I mean, it was part of like when they were looking at the area for Curiosity of things they wanted to study, but they had no idea it was going to be like this, like formed by these individual stones versus just like a lighter area of Mars dirt, Mars regolith, like.
Well, it was kind of lighter until they went over it and it just crumbled into this yellow stuff.
Well, no, like from the distance of the satellite, it looked like one, but once Curiosity got over there, it could resolve.
Well, yeah. But
and
didn't you say it was lighter color?
They could see that it was lighter from the satellite, but they thought it would be just uniform. But once Curiosity got there, it saw that it was just stones that were littering the area, or stones, very crushable stone, like, basically sulfur crystals, or sulfur stones. That were just littering the area. So interesting to see what comes of that. And Curiosity so far has traveled 20 miles since 2012.
Nice.
Can you believe
12
it?
years.
2012 with the whole 7 minutes of terror, the fucking sky crane, just genius stuff was in 2012. Check out our episode on time.
Did we do an event for this?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think we did. I mean, the first thing, as soon as we could get that video, or we were playing like the demonstration, and then we released Dateline Mars for in anticipation of this, because we had the video for it. So Mars still proving to be a worthy object of study.
Oh, and it always will be, because if we go there one day.
Yes, because the plans are to go there. The whole Artemis mission plans are to basically use going to the moon, go to the moon, use the moon as a jumping off point, then to go to Mars. And so those are the larger, lofty goals of NASA.
What are you hoping happens in 2025? What? Okay. All right. What would be? What discovery would you love to see happen? Not that it necessarily will happen, because what I have won't happen in 2025.
One life somewhere.
Well, that's always number one, but but that's just the turmoil will cause will just be amazing.
You punk.
Yeah, I mean, I got it written on my body right now. No, it would. Okay, for me, it would be to figure out, what dark energy is, or dark matter, and I don't think we are at a place for that.
Emotionally or technologically.
Both. No, I just don't think we're there with and I mean, because we can throw out a bunch of shit right now about what dark energy is. The question is, can some of this stuff be
backed up by science?
Exactly, it's got to be data. By observation. Yeah, and so if you can't back it up, if you can't design an experiment to prove it or disprove it, it's just philosophy.
I mean, we couldn't confirm that the sun was at the center of the solar system until Galileo actually observed Venus and Jupiter. They shouldn't do that. They wouldn't be able to have Venus wouldn't go through phases, and Jupiter has moons, so that means other things can orbit other things.
I think though with the Earth-centric, you can have Venus go through phases, but they aren't the phases that Galileo was.
These aren't the phases you think you're looking for.
And we don't have to drink because. So the question is, can James Webb help prove what dark matter is composed of? I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, it could. But
is it looking for it? Is it helping design to help with dark energy as well?
I think with some of the observations, yes, it helps. But it all depends on how the goals of your observation. What are you trying to do? So,
but I mean, with that one, there was that one story that happened in whatever month it happened in 2024. I don't remember. Where it found that the galaxy that ends up having more dark matter than than they thought it would. So that can go in helping, like, oh well, it has more, and refining the math of things.
Yeah, so I mean, Webb can do it.
In fact, there was a recent article I saw, and I just glanced at it, and I was like, oh, make a note to read that again. It would be good for, and then I, of course, forgot completely about it. No mental note will stick in my mind. But it was something about that dark energy is accelerating, actually, like 5 times faster, a certain amount of times faster than initial.
Oh yeah, I think I saw something about that. I mean, that's big.
Than it should be, or something, or that.
Yeah, I would have to look that up.
Yeah,
too.
Which is like, oh well, that's a pretty big discrepancy. 5 times faster.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of discrepancies in things, and so with regards to dark energy and dark matter,
I was gonna make it just like the Bible. So what the Bible and the universe have in common. Many discrepancies.
Yeah, but it all depends on how you design your observation, and what you're going for, and whether you're going to be able to find, whether Webb can help with dark matter, dark energy, because it can. It just depends on what your observation run is, and also how important that is, because it has to be.
Oh yeah, you have to reserve time. You have to get time approved.
Yeah, it has to be
and
approved.
There's going to be limited. I mean, I'm sure it is like like the lottery to get time on James Webb.
Okay, so the Vatican does have an observatory. It's called the Vatican Observatory. It's located in Arizona, actually. And
seems
like
you know what it is? Taxes.
Probably, but it's also what's the observatories down near Tucson?
Kit Peak.
So we had the guy who ran it. He would come and give talks up at.
I wasn't there for those, but I know.
No, it was in the very beginning.
Talking about them.
Father Guy something or other.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, so they actually have an observatory that I think John Paul II is the one who kind of set it up, and it was, I mean, it does actual science, and I mean, sure, the underlying thing is to show the universe and the glory of God and that kind of thing, but they actually do real science, which is completely different from, say, the Creation Museum, which just cherry pick shit.
What is the Vatican's favorite nebula?
God's eye.
Or ready? Try it again. What is the Vatican's favorite nebula?
M42 creative. I mean M42 because that's mine.
The Omega Nebula. Because it's Alpha and Omega.
It'd be so great if there was an Alpha nebula.
Alpha Nebula.
They're like right next to each other.
No, it would be an emerging pair of galaxies.
Oh, the Alpha and the Omega.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair to them, they do legit shit.
Or do they? It sounds like we could start a little plot of like a Da Vinci Code esque.
I would much rather read something from the Vatican Observatory than I would from the Creation Museum.
Oh yeah.
Or the Creation Institute or whatever they are. Yeah. Institute of Creation Science.
Yeah.
Which is
gobbledygook.
Yeah.
It's gobbledygook.
It's just so dumb.
So maybe 2025 will be the year that we discover what dark matter and or dark energy is. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think we will.
Maybe.
But, I mean, I would love to. Vampires and Astronauts.
It's the next Stephanie Meyer book, Vampires and Astronauts.
I mean, I would love. I still think that in my lifetime we'll figure out what dark matter and dark energy is. I do think it's kind of funny that that's the Star Trek universe. They know what it is. They know
just
what it
won't tell us.
They won't tell. But also,
because we don't know what it is.
Also, well, they know what dark matter is. They never mentioned dark energy because dark energy was discovered after they ended the next generation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
oh,
and
man.
so it wasn't known.
Hold on, I gotta address. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I'm sorry, but if those goddamn vampires sparkle one little bit in goddamn space with those astronauts, absolutely not. Vampires don't sparkle. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say.
What we're gonna find out in 2025 is all vampires sparkle, and it's just gonna be science.
Not.
How are you going to accept that?
Absolutely.
Are you gonna question science?
Go around lighting them on fire.
You're gonna question science, aren't you?
Don't sparkle.
Yeah, I mean,
the dead shouldn't sparkle. Also, the dead should not sparkle.
You're writing a book, and you go, "Hey, vampires sparkle."
Look, I need to be original here. No,
vampires.
They
sparkle.
burst in. There's a canon. It's the myth lore of vampires. There's certain rules you follow. They don't freaking sparkle. I'll hunt every sparkling vampire. You gotta prove you burn in the sun. Oh, you're cool. You stay.
Was Bram's?
Yes, that is a classic
Stoker,
vampire.
Bram Stoker. Was he the first to introduce us to vampires? Because
that was the first. That was the first to make it like a pop culture phenomenon. But there's lore or whatever that's going back that it's based on or taken from. He's taken excerpts of like lore from whatever.
But
Transylvania
Frankenstein's monster is completely original, right? So
if
you're
you're drinking glitter, you will sparkle.
But Frankenstein's monster is completely original, right? That was not other than the fact that we probably have thought about what if we can make humans out of pieces parts.
Well, it's interesting because Mary Shelley at that time, that is a big time period, a big time for like corpse smuggling, basically. The body
they would steal the bodies and
body
send them to
snatching
the medical
and everything. Everybody's digging up great and giving them to for research and everything. So it's like totally like apropos of the time to be like to create a story about this under the name of science and medicine scavenging these body parts to make this
You spill it.
It's the second
Did you pull
time.
a Davison?
It's the second time. Anyway, so that's my analysis of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein in the historical context of the 1800s.
What's your favorite monster? I know this is probably a Halloween episode, but what's your favorite monster?
Hey, Halloween happened in 2024. My favorite monster?
What happens in every year?
I guess if you're going with like a classic monster, then it would be a vampire.
Oh yeah, vampires are good.
They're like the elves in Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Sort of, and
right
with pointy ears.
You think of it, they're
the teeth
youthful.
are different.
Well, I'm saying
right.
like
Youthful.
The visage.
They live forever.
Yeah, the
immortal.
visage of them, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
From the tinfoil. Our Malamute we had a while ago, Lucy, my mom says in chat, she ate a bunch of Hershey Kisses and her poop sparkled.
But Lucy ties right into this
in the Sky with Diamonds.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
I don't know if my mom was here to hear that our drink name was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Okay, how about modern monster?
Xenomorphs.
Oh shit, okay. Zombies?
Yeah.
Because that's from the 60s.
Yeah, I like a good zombie. I like a good zombie. The fast ones are terrifying as fuck.
Okay. Are fast ones really zombies? Because
yes. It depends. The zombie is dependent on what is making the zombie and its behavior. Like technically 28 Days Later is technically actually a virus movie, not necessarily a zombie movie.
Right.
Whereas a zombie movie is
World
not
War
based...
Z would be would be the fast zombie.
Yes, I know. They're still zombies if it's not because of, if they're, if they're actual zombies.
All right, which one do you like, fast or shuffle?
I mean, I like a good shuffling zombie. I like a slow one that I have the chance of getting away from.
Right, but there's
But also, let me turn into a zombie. Just let me be that.
Your arm falls off.
I mean, I'm not gonna know or care, and hey.
Yeah, but the thing that is most terrifying are the shuffle ones, because like gravity, they are relentless. They get you in the end.
They all get you in the end.
Yes, and
it just determines how fast you want them to get you, and I'll take slower.
Yeah, you got a better shot of getting away, but all I'm saying is the shuffle's more terrifying. Because they get you.
Not necessarily. You can outrun them. You can get away from them. We wouldn't have that many seasons of The Walking Dead if you couldn't at least get away from them.
You know what? We stopped watching. It just gets to a point where it's just like...
No, I know. I'm not saying about the quality of the show. I'm just saying, like, you can get away with them. Yes. Oh my god. It's because I'm, like, being emotive, and so the liquid in however physics works with liquid in glasses.
Did you drink most of that, or did you spill most of that?
No, I drank most of it.
Okay, all right.
I was like, I didn't spill that much on me. I'm not that sticky. Anyway, okay. Oh, my mom said the Borg Queen. That, you know what? I never would have thought of her as a monster.
Well, the Borg.
But the Borg Queen.
The Borg is the Star Trek version of zombies.
The Borg Queen is kind of a badass.
She is, yeah.
I mean, she's trying to create her own civilization in her image in a way. I mean, sounds familiar. But, I don't know. She's a strong, independent woman. I kind of am like pro Borg Queen a little bit, Like, let her do her thing. If the men can't handle it, get out of here, Locutus. I mean...
do you think, like, there were, like, Star Trek writers just got high one day and was, like, watching bees and just completely came up with the Borg off that?
Maybe. I mean, it's a very, like... especially during the 90s when you have all this technology that is starting to, develop, and how far, and then those early conversations of, well, especially with like Terminator movies and stuff, and those early questions of, well, how far does this technology go? How far could it go? What are our fears with this technology? And then being completely replaced by said technology in lieu of the Borg. I mean, it's a great,
So the quote unquote ultra modern, like the right now one, is going to be AI. That's going to be the boogeyman.
Oh my god, fuck AI.
That's going to be the boogeyman.
She's listening. We love you, Google. Googs, you're so pretty. No, I mean, look. Aside from like, a xenomorph is my favorite because I love aliens, and I mean, oh my god, I swear to God.
Why don't you put it down?
Because
There you go.
Right.
And then when you want it, you can grab it.
Partly because of obviously Ripley is just this badass in it. Especially Aliens, the second one, is my ultimate favorite. But I mean, a xenomorph is just a terrifying creature that is just like perfect, perfectly terrifying. But I mean, I love a good old fashioned slow, large stepping walking serial killer. Your Michaels, your Jasons, your classic, just slash them. We don't care about how much blood is spilled. Freddy's like, let's hang out a little bit. Aside from like the
Freddy's like, let's hang out.
I mean, okay, let's ignore
the
pedophilia aspect of his story. If we just ignore that part, I mean, he's like a fun jokester one. It's kind of like, but you can easily kind of like. You can go to him back, you can kind of talk shit to him. Whereas Michael and Jason, they have nothing going on up here. It's just a one-track mind of murder and kill you any way I can, and apparently they don't die easily at all.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where we just make barbecue.
I mean, he's more like who who gave him a chainsaw? He's not qualified to use this at all. He's just like, like, he's enjoying life, and he doesn't know any better because he was raised in a family of cannibals. I mean, it's nature and environment right there. He wasn't exposed to outside sources to show him that this isn't cool.
Is the T-Rex a monster? Well, not in Jurassic Park.
I mean, no, that's just real, Katie. That was just a real beast that existed on the earth that you're scared of.
In Jurassic Park, that was a hero.
She was a hero, Katie. Think about it. The T-Rex was the hero of Jurassic Park, and in the first Chris Pratt sequel one, Jurassic World or whatever one it was, she also saved the day, and they made the Raptors heroes as well in that one, where they came and saved them. Blue. Oh, God. I mean, they made them cute and lovable. So I mean, the first. I mean, what you really want to be wary of are those raptors in Jurassic Park in the first one, because those ones are clever girls, and you want to beware of them.
Those are the scary
but
ones.
also real raptors, apparently not that big, very tiny, very small, deadly, like land piranhas.
Oh. Land piranhas.
I thought they were small. I thought they found out that they were small.
I think they are small, but I don't think they're like
they're small.
That I think they're bigger.
The small, find out how big a raptor actually is. Although that's
a velociraptor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you have a lot of little ones that were like nipping at your ankles, that might be.
Adults were 5 to 7 feet tall.
Okay, but that first one says roughly the size of a turkey or a big chicken.
No, that's long. They were about 1.6 feet high. Yeah.
Okay, so they weren't like big. Oh, how big was the Utah raptor? Look up that one. Elizabeth says that one was big. I mean, yeah, the T-Rex is just like, it's sad because it can't give hugs. It wants to give some hugs and eat goats.
5 feet at the hips.
5 feet at the hips. So I mean, they weren't like as big as the ones. I mean, they're still like, they'll still rip you to shreds. I would not want to meet any of them. They're still gonna rip you to shreds. That's why humans didn't exist with dinosaurs. We would not have lasted anywhere near long enough to develop this much thinking skills.
No, we our greatest
those are mouth hugs. You haven't heard of those? They're just mouth hugs. They're just they have gentle bites. It's like Jackie's mouth. It's just gentle.
We owe a big.
You just gotta tap them on the nose, and you say gentle, and then they know.
We owe a big debt to that asteroid that killed the dinosaur.
Oh yeah, the asteroid. Remember when that happened back in the Yucatan? Yeah. 67, 63,
million years
65
ago. I was here.
Million years ago. Yeah. That we also not have done well. No. We wouldn't have done well if we were around.
They had to be tiny. So those
explain
tiny
that
mammals.
Creation Museum.
Those tiny mammals, but it was the flood. They explain it by the dinosaurs died in the flood.
Oh, they don't mention the asteroid?
No, because
they don't mention the asteroid anywhere?
No, because it's 65
we just forget about the asteroid that we have. Okay.
No, right. They don't explain the original. Well, what they do is they say the iridium layer is evidence that there was a global flood.
Where in the water did the iridium come from?
That they don't worry about.
Is it like what's been happening in Flint, Michigan forever?
Yeah. They don't worry
don't
about
drink the
explaining
water.
That. Because Iridium is something that's commonly found in asteroids.
Well, I iridi you.
What? You're going to get rid of me?
No, I said I iridi you. I know. All right. Anyway, maybe in 2025, less people will become those people.
That'd be nice.
But with the trends that are happening, it seems like
it
could be the reverse aspect of it. But anyway. Okay. What do you want James Webb to image in 2025? I've actually already got my wish, because you sent a photo to the group chat with Brandon and I of James Webb's image of the Sombrero Galaxy. And the Sombrero Galaxy is one of my favorite galaxies because it's a spiral galaxy that we are basically looking at head on. So I mean, it looks like the rim of a
It's a beautiful
sombrero.
galaxy.
It's absolutely gorgeous. So you can imagine our Milky Way looks similar to that head on. I want to say it's like twice the size of our galaxy. But it's a beautiful image by James Webb, and that is one specific thing that I wanted James Webb to image, and so I got my wish at the end of the year. You found it. Oh yeah, there you go. So in the infrared, I mean, it's just so gorgeous. That bright central core, and you see, and versus the other beautiful image we have of it is from the Hubble Space Telescope, invisible light. So with James Webb, you can see all these intricacies in the rings of the arms of dust, the spiral arms of dust that are there, and it's just that's what I wanted, and I got it, and now I don't know what I want for 2025.
Well,
there's so many possibilities of things it could image.
I thought about sending that to your family chat, but I was like, are they gonna just like randomly? Are they gonna be like, what is this random ass picture?
Only my dad will.
Oh God, that's such a.
I got it. Went through.
Jesus, that went through quick.
Oh no, you sent that to. Oh yeah, it went through fast.
Damn.
Hey.
Let's see. God, there's just so much, like.
Oh, or do you have a favorite that it has taken so far?
Well, I would love to, because I just would love any picture of the Orion Nebula.
Oh yeah, it hasn't done the Orion, has it? Oh no, wait, did it do?
If it did, it probably has.
Maybe it did like the trapezium part or something.
Yeah,
but Orion.
And so, all right. So the Orion Nebula, I would love a, like an exoplanet shot. But Webb, just keep doing what you do, because it's everything is amazing.
Keep on keeping on.
I would love a picture that ends up being as consequential as the Hubble Space Telescope's 1998 dark energy data that it was grabbing. So this is like the thing that,
I mean, it's already discovered the most distant galaxy away
right
so far.
I mean, that's the thing, is like Webb was put up there not just to take pretty pictures, but to
do science.
Rewrite, to me anyway, the hope is to rewrite astronomy books. Because that is what Hubble did. Hubble rewrote the universe for us. And so Hubble launches in the early 1990s, and within 7 years discovers dark energy. Just a lot of evidence for dark matter, and now these are just prevailing ideas and thoughts in astronomy. We don't know what the fuck they are, but Hubble rewrote the universe based on this and other discoveries. Like even looking at like the Orion Nebula and the Eagle Nebula and things like that, when right after Hubble's launch, it takes these pictures and discovers propylids, which we know have to exist somewhere in the universe, but here's evidence that...
Wait, we didn't have an evidence of propylids before?
I thought we did
with like Hubble and like the Eagle Nebula.
Well, no, with Hubble. Hubble gave us
that.
You're
talking about Hubble still. Okay,
yeah,
I thought you were talking about...
so Hubble rewrote the book. So I'm hoping that James Webb does that.
Oh, I got you.
And does that, and with some picture that like you and I are like, that's just a fucking beautiful picture, but there's just all this science underneath it.
Yeah, because I remember the press conference when James Webb released those images, and that we're saying like that there were like astronomers that were already like, what is this? You know, they were like, oh, this is right here. We need to look at this further. You know, like they're already seeing things. And I think in chat, Elizabeth asked, would you want to see James Webb take photos of black holes you have already studied? I think that.
Actually,
I think hasn't there been new? I don't know if it was James Webb, but it was something where. And I think we covered it one of the High in the Skies, where it was looking at Sagittarius A star, the black hole at the center of our Milky Way. And it had to like observe the stars, and so it was able to like distinguish something that we didn't know before about the black hole or whatever. And I can't remember if that was James Webb or not. But we also have the Event Horizon Telescope that's for black holes.
The thing with James Webb, though, James Webb's not looking. So James Webb, if it's looking at black holes, might give you some sort of new idea about the physics of the accretion disk.
Yeah, because it's doing infrared.
Right.
Black holes, you're going to need like your gammas and your X-rays.
Yeah, and so but even still, that's an accretion disk type look.
Yeah.
And so, but with James Webb, though, you might get a sense of the physics that's going on in the outer regions.
Right,
of
how
the
things are
disk.
orbiting in the accretion disk, the velocities and extrapolate masses of things.
Yeah, so in the outer accretion disk, it's much cooler, relative term. So there's a lot of friction that goes on, but in the outer regions, though, it's cooler, and so that might give you a little more, an idea of what's going on with the physics on the outer edges of this of the accretion disks. All right, so here's the thing about black holes. Black holes are the simplest objects in the universe.
No.
Yes, they are.
They're the simplest and the most complicated brain-melting objects in the fucking universe.
You only need, in essence, 3 numbers to describe them.
No. Spin. Mass.
Charge.
Ah, fuck.
So those are the only 3 numbers that you need to describe them. So they are exceedingly simple. They are easier to describe than an atom. Which you have to, take into account all the protons and the electrons and the neutrons and, how they're spinning and orbiting and things like that and the energies that the electrons have. But those are the only 3 numbers you need. It doesn't mean the math is easy. That's entirely different thing.
How many actual numbers are in the math?
There's only 3.
How many actual are written as numbers in the math? How many written numbers are written in the math?
As opposed to letters in squiggly lines?
Yes. As opposed to anything that's not a 1 through 0.
Well, the equation is predominantly letters, but right there. But yeah, it's they are exceedingly simple. Doesn't mean the math's easy, but they're simple. And where the physics of a black hole gets complex is with
the actual black hole part of the black hole, like the whole thing of what it is.
No,
basically.
It's the accretion disk.
But we can't see the actual black hole because the black hole is nothing but a single mathematical point with so much gravity the light can't escape from it, so we can't actually see it, and all we can see is basically the accretion disk, and so. But we can't explain what's going on inside a black hole, what happens after a black hole.
All right. For the Digistar Users Group Conference, we made a control panel that calculated like 15 different things. So
it was fun.
The equations are, they're there. You can easily knock some shit out with it. But what makes it very complex that nobody likes to really touch, at least on an undergraduate or a planetarium level, is the accretion disk. This is exceedingly complex. How do you take this swirling gas and figure out it mathematically? It's very complex.
Because it's like it can vary in what? Mass or size or
temperature, electric fields,
how much stuff is that black hole using?
So what I did when I was at Clemson undergrad, working with a professor, is we broke it up into rings. Okay, and so each ring obviously has a certain radius, and so they slide past each other, and so by sliding past each other, they're touching, which means there's an energy transfer between them. And so one ring heats up,
the other cools down,
and the other one cools down. And so
because you have conservation of energy.
Yeah, and so the one that heats up moves faster. The one that you know that
it's just like when you get hot, or when you get when I get hot, I slow down too. Actually,
so but also the heat will strip electrons off of atoms, and now you have charged particles, which you now have to consider. Yes. Which then these things are moving, these charged particles are moving, so you get a magnetic field, which is, as you get closer to the center of the black hole, becomes much stronger and actually more complex. And this is where you get these spirals that go up and above and below. And that is where all this, the jets originate
right,
from.
where some falls in, some escapes. Some gets lucky. Do you feel lucky, punk?
And
so,
get shot out.
Something I thought about then. Okay, since we're talking about black holes, because why not? This is where we always devolve to anyways, black holes. Is okay, then I didn't think about magnetic field. That's gonna fuck a dude up. So if you're that astronaut spaghettifying, you gotta also deal with magnetic field forces. So if you got anything metal on you, not a good day.
No.
If you got a metal tooth, it's coming out.
Do they do metal anymore?
I don't know.
Anyway, I actually have metal in me, so it'd be ripped out.
So it'd just be
it'd be ripped out.
And then your heart's like, bye.
Well, pretty much, because all of my insides just get sucked out, right? Well, they freeze. Yeah, and so, yeah, I mean, it's something. There's no need taking your credit cards because they're just gonna be. Maybe you do want to take them.
What's the black hole gonna do? Go shopping on Amazon or some shit? What's it?
So steal your credit cards.
It's got everything it needs.
No, yeah, you got the magnetic field.
Yeah, something we don't mention in the just plethora of ways you're gonna die if you get too close to a black hole.
Yeah, because there's. I mean, the black hole at this point, the mass is what you really got to worry about. So. Cool. You're in charge of this,
Oh, okay. All right. What else can happen in 2025? I don't know. I don't know what's down on the pike. What's down on the pike?
Would you rather see a big announcement in astronomy or a big announcement in particle physics?
Well, they're the same thing to me.
Oh, okay.
They go together because you can't have the universe without particles.
That's true. I think
physics. The universe is just all physics and particles, and then the particles of like, hey, how you doing? And the other particles like, all right.
The universe is the physics of particles. Yes, I think that's exactly how you describe it.
Yeah,
it's the physics of particles.
Yeah, so you know.
I mean, I never thought of it really that way, but it is. I think.
What else is the universe?
I think I would rather see a really big announcement in particle physics because that might mean new physics. It might need new physics.
Every year we do one of these, and it's like, what do you want to see come out? And every year it's like a breakthrough in particle physics. I want to see a breakthrough.
I want to see new physics.
New physics.
I want to see new physics.
He wants publishers to spend so much money rewriting those textbooks.
But you know the thing is they won't rewrite.
And then everybody complain and be like, it's bullshit. So they don't have to spend the money to rewrite.
They won't rewrite high school textbooks.
No.
They also won't rewrite
galactic planetary
intergalactic planetary physics books. They won't rewrite undergraduate physics books. The graduate physics books.
They're like, we must rewrite these. These are the people of our future. These are the smartest among us. They must know the knowledge that is real.
But even if CERN announced something this year, there's going to be a lot of physicists that are like, we had to figure out what.
Well, you got to I mean, it's something that's already been reproduced and verified as, that's what you can't just have one team go, oh, I got this solved it, and everybody go, okay, cool, and then somebody else go, wait, I got a different, and then go, oh no.
Yeah,
you gotta have multiple independent researchers go, oh, we all found the same thing. It's true. Yeah. Here you go.
But what would be amazing though would be CERN announces the results of some experiment to just high degree of accuracy, and we don't know what the fuck it means. You know, we then have to figure out how to take this data and incorporate it into the standard model. The standard model of physics is the physics that basically describes how the weak force, the strong force, and the weak and electromagnetic forces interact and stuff like that. And so it's pretty robust. It has
people have thought about it for a bit.
Yes, since the 60s, people have won all kinds of Nobel Prizes on it. It would just be amazing if CERN announced something that is outside of what the standard model predicts. And then it's like, oh shit, how do we incorporate this? What do we do? The standard model is not the ideal model, but it's
what we got.
But it's what we got right now.
It's what we got, what works so far.
So one of the things with the standard model, though, that so the standard model.
Wait, hold on. Is the next model iteration going to be the better model?
I mean, you might as well call it that.
And then when you get to like the final one, you call it the Model T. This is the peak.
Yes. The standard model.
Or it would be the Model P because it's physics.
The model, yes. Yeah, that's.
Look, I combined a card joke with a physics joke.
You're proud of yourself, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very proud of myself.
The standard model doesn't just inherently predict values for it wouldn't be the gravitational constant, but the charge of an electron. That is all set by experiment, and so you have to do the experiments, get these values, and then you put that into the standard model, and that's not exactly the most appeasing, because you want
the math to do it for you.
You want the math to do it for you.
You want to work smarter, not harder.
But if you do have a theory of everything, those values should be kicked out of your theory of everything automatically.
It's just like what's those machines designed by the dude, they just go and it's like, ooh, the block's knocked down, and then that hits something, and then it goes with the ball, and then
I know you know about. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a mousetrap.
Mousetrap.
Physics should be like the game Mousetrap.
Yeah, I mean,
a series of equations just lead to more.
I would absolutely love for work smarter, not harder. Exactly.
Okay, so good luck in 2025. I
don't think it's gonna happen, but I would love to see it. A boy can dream, right?
You can dream. You can always dream. Yes.
A boy who has a degree in physics can dream.
That's why you're fancy physics man.
Yeah, but
you have the fanciest
I'm
dreams.
Not fancy.
Of physics. Well, that's because you're not wearing a top hat. I bet if you wore a top hat, you'd feel fancy.
Okay, give me one. I'll wear it. I'll wear it in an episode.
All right, I got until January 12th to get a top hat. Hold on, let me fix this one side of my hair. It's gotten all.
Leia, do you want to say hi? You want to say hi?
Oh, Leia.
Leia, raise your head.
Oh my gosh.
Raise your head.
Oh gosh. This is.
All right. Good girl. Go lie down. We got to end the show.
Yeah.
We got to end the show so we can play video games.
Well, we have lots of dreams for the future. Lots of things have happened in 2024. I don't know how time works or how to pay attention to it.
But we have an episode on it.
But we do have an episode on it that you can check out.
Right,
I am hopeful for the future, and
hey, just know
we'll see how far that gets us.
Yeah, we're gonna get through this together. We're gonna get through this.
Yes.
The next 4 years, we will get through. We'll get through this.
And you know what? Science be happening, and science be wild. Science is always happening. So
yes.
I expect to have a lot of exciting things
with that
to talk about in the next year of Cosmos with Cosmos. So stay tuned. Follow us on all the things at Drinking Cosmos on Twitter, and Cosmos is Cosmos everywhere else. You can find us on Spotify and, of course, YouTube, where the hangovers are only on YouTube. So check us out there. And we will see you in 2025 on January 12th. Everybody have a safe and happy holiday and a happy New Year. one more orbit around the sun completed. We'll see you guys
Cheers,
next
everybody.
time.